"Carter!" I shouted. Nothing happened. Next to me, pressed against the wall of the fort, Annabeth peered into the rain, waiting for magical teenagers to fall out of the sky. "Are you doing it right?" she asked me. "Gee, I don't know. I'm pretty sure his name is pronounced Carter." "Try tapping the hieroglyph multiple times." "That's stupid." "Just try it." I stared at my hand. There wasn't even a trace of the hieroglyph that Carter Kane had drawn on my palm almost 2 months back. He assured me that the magic couldn't be washed away, but with my luck, I accidentally wiped it off my pants or something. I tapped my palm. "Carter! Hello, Carter! Percy to Carter! Paging Carter Kane! Testing 1, 2, 3! Is this thing on?" Still nothing. Usually, I wouldn't panic if the cavalry failed to show. Annabeth and I had been in a lot of bad situations without any backup. But usually, we weren't stranded on Governor's Island in the middle of a hurricane, surrounded by fire-breathing death snakes. Actually, I have been surrounded by fire-breathing death snakes before, but not ones with wings. Everything is worse when it has wings. "All right." Annabeth wiped the rain out of her eyes, which didn't help since it was pouring buckets. "Sadie's not answering her phone. Carter's hieroglyph isn't working. I guess we have to do this ourselves." "Sure," I said, "but what do we do?" I peeked around the corner. At the far end of an arched entryway, a grass courtyard stretched about 100 yards square, surrounded by red brick buildings. Annabeth had told me this place was a fort or something from the Revolutionary War, but I hadn't listened to details. Our main problem was the guy standing in the middle of the lawn doing a magic ritual. He looked like a runty Elvis Presley, strutting back and forth in black skinny jeans, a powdered blue shirt, and a black leather jacket. His greasy pompadour hairdo seemed to be impervious to the rain and the wind. In his hands, he held out an old scroll like a treasure map. As he paced, he read aloud from it, occasionally throwing back his head and laughing. Basically, the dude was in full-on crazy mode. If that wasn't creepy enough, flying around him were half a dozen winged serpents blowing flames in the rain. Overhead, lightning flashed. Thunder shook my molars. Annabeth pulled me back. "That's gotta be Setna," she said. "The scroll he's reading is from the Book of Thoth. Whatever spell he's casting, we have to stop him." At this point, I should probably back up and explain what the heck was going on. Only problem, I wasn't sure what the heck was going on. A couple of months ago, I fought this giant crocodile on Long Island. A kid named Carter Kane showed up, said he was a magician, and proceeded to help me by blowing up stuff with hieroglyphs and turning into a giant glowing chicken-headed warrior. Together, we defeated the crocodile, which Carter explained was a son of Sobek, the Egyptian crocodile god. Carter postulated that some strange Egyptian-Greek hybrid stuff was happening. Gee, I never would have guessed. He wrote a magical hieroglyph on my hand and told me to call his name if I ever needed help. Fast forward to last month, Annabeth ran into Carter's sister, Sadie Kane, on the A train to Rockaway. They fought some godly dude named Serapis who had a 3-headed staff and a cereal bowl for a hat. Afterward, Sadie told Annabeth that an ancient magician named Setna might be behind all the weirdness. Apparently, this Setna had come back from the dead, snagged an ultra-powerful sorcery cheat sheet called the Book of Thoth, and was playing around with Egyptian and Greek magic, hoping to find a way to become a god himself. Sadie and Annabeth had exchanged numbers and agreed to keep in touch. Today, 4 weeks later, Annabeth showed up at my apartment at 10 in the morning and announced that she had a bad dream, a vision from her mom. By the way, her mom is Athena, the goddess of wisdom. My dad is Poseidon. We're Greek demigods. Just thought I should mention that, in passing. Annabeth decided that instead of going to the movies, we should spend our Saturdays slogging down to the bottom of Manhattan and take the ferry to Governor's Island, where Athena had told her that trouble was brewing. As soon as we got there, a freak hurricane slammed into New York Harbor. All the mortals evacuated Governor's Island, leaving Annabeth and me stranded at an old fort with crazy Elvis and the flying death snakes. Make sense to you? Me neither. Your invisibility cap, I said. It's working again, right? How about I distract Setna while you sneak up behind him? You can knock the book out of his hands. Annabeth knit her eyebrows. Even with her blonde hair plastered to the side of her face, she looked cute. Her eyes were the same color as the storm clouds. Setna is supposedly the world's greatest magician, she said. He might be able to see through invisibility. Plus, if you run out there, he'll probably zap you with a spell. Believe me, Egyptian magic is not something you want to get zapped with. I know. Carter walloped me with a glowing blue fist once, but unless you have a better idea... Unfortunately, she didn't offer one. She pulled her New York Yankees cap from her backpack. Give me a minute head start. Try to take out those flying snakes first. They should be softer targets. Got it. I raised my ballpoint pen, which doesn't sound like an impressive weapon, but when it turns into a magic sword when I uncap it... No, seriously. Will a celestial bronze blade kill them? Annabeth frowned. It should. At least, my bronze dagger worked on a staff of Serapis. Of course, that bronze dagger was made from an Egyptian wand, so... I'm getting a headache. Usually when I get a headache, it's time to stop talking and attack something. Fine. Just remember, our main goal is to get the scroll. According to Sadie, Setna can use it to turn himself immortal. Understood. No bad guys turning immortal on my watch. I kissed her, because one, when you're a demigod, going into battle, every kiss might be your last. And two, I like kissing her. Be careful. She put on her Yankees cap and vanished. I love to tell you that I walked in and killed the snakes. Annabeth stabbed Elvis in the back and took his scroll, and we went home happy. You'd figure once in a while things would work out the way we planned. But no. I gave Annabeth a few seconds to sneak into the courtyard. Then I uncapped my pen, and Riptide sprang to full length. 3 feet of razor-sharp celestial bronze. I strolled into the courtyard and sliced the nearest serpent out of the air. Nothing says, "Hi, neighbor," like killing a guy's flying reptile. The snake didn't disintegrate like most monsters I'd fought. Its 2 halves just landed in the wet grass. The half with wings flopped around aimlessly. Crazy Elvis didn't notice. He kept pacing back and forth, engrossed in his scroll. So I moved farther into the courtyard and sliced another snake. The storm made it hard to see. Normally, I can stay dry when submerged in water, but rain is trickier. It needled my skin and got in my eyes. Lightning flashed. By the time my vision cleared, 2 more snakes were dive-bombing me from either side. I jumped backward just as they blew fire. FYI, jumping backwards is hard when you're holding a sword. It's even harder when the ground is muddy. Long story short, I slipped and landed on my butt. Flames shot over my head. The 2 snakes circled above me like they were too surprised to attack again. Probably they were wondering, did that guy just fall on his butt on purpose? Should we laugh before we kill him? Would that be mean? Before they could decide what to do, Crazy Elvis called out, "Leave him!" The snakes darted off to join their brethren, who were orbiting 10 feet above the magician. I wanted to get up and face Setna, but my rear end had other ideas. It wanted to stay where it was and be in extreme pain. Butts are like that sometimes. They can be, well, butts. Setna rolled up his scroll, and he walked toward me, the rain parting around him like a bead curtain. His winged snakes followed, their flames making plumes of steam in the storm. "Hi there!" Setna sounded so casual and friendly. I knew I was in trouble. "You're a demigod, I suppose?" I wondered how Setna knew that. Maybe he could smell a demigod's aura the way Greek monsters could? Or maybe my prankster friends, the Stoll brothers, had written "I'm a demigod" on my forehead in permanent marker, and Annabeth had decided not to tell me. That happened occasionally. Setna's smile made his face look even gaunter. Dark eyeliner rimmed his eyes, giving him a hungry, feral stare. Around his neck, glittered a golden chain of interlocking ankhs, and from his left ear dangled an ornament that looked like a human figure bone. You must be Setna. I managed to get to my feet without killing myself. Did you get that outfit at the Halloween store? Setna chuckled. Look, nothing personal, but I'm a little busy at the moment. I'm gonna have to ask you and your girlfriend to wait while I finish my incantation, okay? Once I've summoned the dish red, we can chat. I tried to look confused, which is one of my most convincing expressions. What girlfriend? I'm alone. Also, why are you summoning a dish rag? It's dish red. Senna patted his pompadour. The red crown of Lower Egypt. As for your girlfriend... He wheeled and pointed behind him, shouting something like, Sunha! Red hieroglyphs burned in the air where Setna pointed. Annabeth turned visible. I never actually seen her wearing her Yankees cap before, since she vanished every time she put it on, but there she was, wide-eyed with surprise, caught in the act of sneaking up on Setna. Before she could react, the red glowing hieroglyphs turned into ropes like licorice whips and lashed out, wrapping around her, pinning her arms and legs with such force that she toppled over. Hey! I yelled. Let her go! The magician grinned. Invisibility magic? Please. I've been using invisibility spells since the pyramids were under warranty. Like I said, this is nothing personal, demigods. I just can't spare the energy to kill you. At least, not until the summon is over. I hope you understand. My heart hammered. I'd seen Egyptian magic before, when Carter helped me fight the giant crocodile on Long Island, but I had no idea how to stop it, and I couldn't stand to see it used against Annabeth. I charged at Setna. He just waved his hand and muttered, Hooray! More stupid hieroglyphs flashed in front of me. I fell on my face. My face did not appreciate that. I got mud in my nostrils and blood in my mouth from biting my tongue. When I blinked, the red hieroglyphs burned on the insides of my eyelids. I groaned. What was that spell? Fall, Setna said. One of my favorites. Really? Don't get up. You'll just hurt yourself more. Setna, Annabeth shouted through the storm. Listen to me. You can't make yourself into a god. It won't work. You'll just destroy... The coil of magical red ropes expanded, covering Annabeth's mouth. I appreciate your concern, said the magician. Really, I do. But I've got this figured out. That business with Serapis, when you destroyed my hybrid god? I learned quite a bit from that. I took excellent notes. Annabeth struggled uselessly. I wanted to run to her, but I had the feeling I'd just end up with my face in the mud again. I'd have to play this smart, which was not my usual style. I tried to steady my breathing and scooted sideways, just to see if I could. So, you were watching in Rockaway Beach? I asked. When Annabeth and Sadie took down Serapis, that was all an experiment to you? Of course. Senna looked very pleased with himself. I jotted down the incantations Serapis used while he tried to raise his new Alexandrian lighthouse. Then it was just a matter of cross-referencing those with the older magic in the Book of Thoth, and voila! I found exactly the spell combo I needed to make myself into a god. It's going to be great. Watch and see. He opened his scroll and started chanting again. His winged serpent spiraled through the rain. Lightning flashed. The ground rumbled. On Setna's left, about 15 feet away from me, the grass split open. A gesture of flame spewed upward, and the winged serpents flew straight into it. Earth, fire, rain, and serpents swirled into a tornado of elements, merging and solidifying into a huge shape. A coiled cobra with a female human head.